Many years ago, Command & Conquer set the bar so high that competitors simply stopped trying. But now, in 2025, the RTS genre is rising to meet that challenge. I'll prove it with 5 modern games that totally nail the C&C vibe. And stick around because right after the top 5, we're giving you extra intel. A short section dedicated to games still in development that are aiming for the C&C crown. Let's start with Tempest Rising, the most ambitious Command & Conquer inspired project in years. Built on Unreal Engine 5, it looks stunning. The visuals are sharp, the atmosphere is rich, and the militaristic vibe is pure C&C. But Tempest Rising isn't just about graphics, lighting, and effects. The developers have added fresh ideas, refined the gameplay, and introduced meaningful innovations. Infantry, for example, stays relevant throughout the entire match, not just in the opening minutes. Combat is fast but tactical, with units that reward smart positioning and timing, something every strategy fan will appreciate. The economy is more dynamic too. The main resource, Tempest, can dry up if you harvest it too aggressively, forcing you to expand, control territory, and manage your income with care. It's a simple but effective twist that makes the macro game far more engaging. On the faction front, you've got 2 fully playable sides right now, both well-balanced and distinct, each with its own playstyle and tech tree. Each faction also gets its own full-length single-player campaign, diving deep into the game's lore and conflicts. And yes, a 3rd faction is in the works, so there's more to come. Tempest Rising sets the bar high. It's the strongest C&C-inspired game out there right now. But the other titles on this list aren't far behind in ambition. Each brings something fresh to the table, whether it's bold mechanics, unique settings, or smart twists on the classic formula. Let's see what they've got. Next, let's talk about Red Chaos, the Strict Order, a game that takes heavy inspiration from Command & Conquer Generals. And there's nothing wrong with that. Generals is still one of the best RTS games ever made, and Red Chaos captures that same energy while adding a few fresh ideas of its own. Released in September 2025 and currently in early access, it throws you into a brutal war between the high-tech Iron Hand and the resourceful Resistance. The factions feel familiar. The Resistance even uses an underground network straight out of the GLA playbook, yet everything feels fresh and surprisingly polished for an early access title. What really stands out is how Red Chaos revives the spirit of Generals, fast-paced, tactical, and unapologetically focused on pure strategy. That focus on combat and decision-making led the devs to streamline the economy into a single resource, money, keeping your attention exactly where it belongs, on the battlefield. And speaking of money, for just $15, Red Chaos is an absolute steal for any RTS fan. Now it's time for 9-bit Armies. A bit too far. The latest game from Petroglyph, the studio founded by veterans of the original Command & Conquer. If anyone knows how to make a great RTS, it's these guys. So it's no surprise that 9-bit Armies brings new ideas with a modern touch. Massive megastructures, advanced tech systems, and expanded tactical options. There are 2 fully balanced factions, each with its own distinct style, making every match feel sharp and competitive. The game also introduces naval battles, one of the most requested features in modern RTS games, adding a whole new layer of strategy to the battlefield. 9-bit Armies is a smart hybrid that takes the best of the classic RTS formula and mixes it with fresh mechanics and modern design. If you've ever wanted a game that feels like C&C but with modern polish, this is it. Stick around, because the next game isn't just good, it's good and free. What's better than that? Now let's move on to Beyond All Reason, one of the most ambitious RTS games you can play today. Built on the legacy of Total Annihilation, it takes large-scale warfare to a whole new level. Massive maps, endless units, and epic battles that stretch across land, sea, and air. Compared to Command & Conquer, the pace is slower and the scale is much larger. You'll spend more time expanding, upgrading, and managing huge armies than rushing for quick strikes. But the sense of power and control will feel instantly familiar to any RTS veteran. Visually, Beyond All Reason is impressive. Smooth animations, modern effects, and rich environmental detail bring the battlefield to life. And the best part? It's completely free, with an active community and regular updates. If you're looking for something bigger in scope, Beyond All Reason is absolutely worth your time. Let's take a look at Rogue Command, a game that takes the classic RTS formula and reinvents it as a single-player, roguelike experience when every battle is just one piece of a larger, evolving campaign. At its core, it delivers everything we love about traditional RTS games like Command and Conquer, base building, resource gathering, and massive ground battles. But the real innovation happens between missions. After each fight, win or lose, you return to a strategic overworld, unlocking new blueprints, global upgrades, and powerful hacks that reshape every run. 2 key things to know about this game. First, no air units. No jets, no bombers, just pure ground warfare. And second, no turtling. The AI strikes early and often, forcing you to stay mobile and adapt quickly. Rogue Command also offers deep customization. You don't just build units, you engineer them, combining modules and abilities to fit your strategy. The gameplay is fast, tactical, and endlessly replayable, with smart touches like time slowing during heavy combat. The visuals might not be flashy, but the gameplay more than makes up for it. Rogue Command proves that single-player RTS can still surprise and keep us hooked for hours. Now, the upcoming ones.
Power source. The orcs attack. Kill them all.
Dawn of War 4 is an upcoming real-time strategy game developed by King Art Games and published by Deep Silver. It marks a return to the franchise's roots, with base building, territory control, resource capture, and squad management at its core. Front is an indie real-time strategy game with grand strategy elements, developed and published by the solo Russian developer RTS Demon. The game blends base building, territorial conquest, and a global map campaign. In Steam discussions, the developer has stated that multiplayer is not a priority, which further suggests a primarily single-player focus. Fractured Alliance is a classic-style sci-fi RTS developed by the Danish indie studio Tense Games. It features traditional base building, resource gathering, and 3 asymmetric factions, plus a tactical pause system that lets players stop time, queue commands, and resume, making the game more accessible to strategic, lower APM playstyles. D.O.R.F. Real-Time Strategic Conflict is developed by D.O.R.F. team, consisting of John Williams and Thomas Van Leth, known modders from the Command and Conquer community. The game draws inspiration from classic 90s RTS titles while introducing innovative new mechanics, running on the OpenRA engine with isometric graphics and a unique dynamic lighting system, despite using 2D sprites. Global Conflagration is a modern warfare RTS set in a near-future, war-torn Europe, focusing on classic base building, large-scale battles, skirmish versus AI, and full PvP modes. The game is still unreleased, and the developers say it will remain in early access for at least 2 years, which makes its final scope and release timeline uncertain. Thanks for watching. See you on the next battlefield. Take care.